sophisticated on this show.
You're very welcome back. We're continuing our monthly masterclass and educating ourselves on all things wine.
And this week we're heading over to the Reds and treating ourselves to some Pinot Noir.
As ever, our wine expert David Whelehan has joined us to offer some expertise. I was delighted because I love the movie Sideways.
Sideways. Oh, that's a great movie.
And it's all about
sensational movie.
All about Pinot Noir.
So if people haven't seen the movie Sideways, they should rent it because it is so much fun. And interesting bit of trivia: Rex Pickett, the guy that actually wrote the whole screenplay, whatever, actually follows me on Twitter for some bizarre reason.
How cool!
So we're Pinot Noir buddies as well. So there you are.
But you love it?
I love the movie, and it was actually very, very accurate, because I actually worked in Napa Valley as well, so I kind of know that whole territory quite well. But it's so accurate in many of its references. There's one slight wrong reference, but as a wine movie,
only you would find that.
But as a wine movie, it's brilliant, and
David,
it's so much fun.
Scoffing up the back of the cinema.
It was actually funny because after that movie, sales of Pinot Noir took off all around the world, and they went up by 150% in America, which is enormous, just enormous.
And if you had to choose, would it be Pinot Noir or Cabernet?
You know, it's really difficult. I was brought up with a Cabernet palate, but I'm actually gravitating to Pinot Noir. So if you get brilliant Pinot Noir, I think it is the holy grail.
Okay.
Happens to us all.
And, you know, and funny, any wine commentator anywhere in the world, it's always a toss-up between Cabernet and Pinot Noir, but most of them will actually side on the Pinot Noir
educate
side.
us then, David.
So
Tell us about it.
what is the Pinot Noir grape? Its home is Burgundy, and that's where it thrives. It's a very tricky mercurial grape. It has got low colour density in its skin. It's got high acidity, and it's very temperamental. But when you get a good expression of it, it's racy, it's exhilarating, it's intense, and it's highly memorable.
Colour-wise?
Colour-wise, it'll tend to be on the paler side unless they go for deep extraction, but classically it will be lower colour. It has a great affinity with oak, and it is absolutely a food grape.
And it's a very historic wine as well.
It's very historic. It goes all the way back to the 13th century. That's the first references, which is quite a long time, because Cabernet Sauvignon only really comes into the reference around about 1700s. So it's an old, traditional, exceptionally exciting grape variety.
Let's have a try.
So I thought we'd kick
What have you brought along?
I thought I'd bring along something which would be very trendy if you're over in Paris, or if you're planning a trip to Paris and you're wondering what should you order. Sancerre Rouge is very much de rigueur at the moment. And of course, if you're having Sancerre Rouge, you're drinking 100% Pinot Noir. Because the red grape of Sancerre appellation is the Pinot Noir grape. And here in the Loire Valley, it's obviously a little bit cooler, so it's going to be you're going to find it's quite high in acidity, and it's quite racy on the palate.
Colour.
But it's refreshing. It's 12.5% alcohol, so it's not too heavy.
It's a lot lighter colour than, say, Cabernet or
much
Merlot.
paler. So if you actually show it against a white background, you see it's definitely a pale colour. So that would immediately be one of your telltale signs. It could be Pinot Noir. And then, as I say, it's just a perfect luncheon wine. So Sancerre Rouge is great. And 2015 in the Loire Valley in Burgundy, it's been a great vintage for Pinot Noir.
That's much lighter than I expected it to be,
actually.
actually.
You see nice little hints of oak in the background. You get a little bit of toast and vanilla in the background, but it's light and racy and refreshing.
It kind of feels summery, sort of, as you say, something you have eating lunch on the terrace.
Yes.
If you have a terrace.
Yeah, with the sandwich. No, it's nothing like immensely memorable, but it's just like a sandwich wine, but very delicious. Now, when you trail over to Burgundy...
Just price point on that one, by the way.
$21.95. Okay. But Sancerre is always premium, and that's a specialist grower.
Okay.
Now, the best Burgundy, here are, I'm probably going to get loads of commentaries about this later on, but the best Pinot Noir in the world comes from Burgundy. There are many other places that make outstanding Pinot Noirs all over the world. In Germany, they call it Spätburgunder. Over in California, in Washington, in Oregon, over in Mornington Peninsula, Australia.
And why do you think that's the best place? Is it because of climate? Is it soil? Is it because they've been doing it for years?
It's exactly that, Laura. It's the climate, it's the history, it's the terroir, it's just the origin of the grape, it's the origin of the species.
This is the best of the best.
So this is a really good expression. Now, sadly, if you go into a wine store, you'll find that good red Burgundy has become exorbitantly expensive. So do not be surprised to see 50, 80, 100, and then you can spend thousands of euros on a bottle of Pinot Noir. So it's gone a bit crazy altogether. But this is a Bourgogne Haute Côte de Nuit from a very famous producer in Vosne-Romanée. Vosne-Romanée is a very expensive and very highly rated terroir in Côte de Nuit.
What are we getting on the nose here?
Here you're getting kind of strawberries, and this is a classic Pinot reference. Kind of, we talk about this haunting note, but none of us can actually quite pinpoint it. But we just say that is Pinot. So, and it's got texture, and it's got oak, and it's got that racy acidity. It's a haunting note, you see, and it's got a very memorable flavour. And with food, this is delicious. So
it's quite smooth, though.
It's polished.
So it's the most expensive of the three this morning, David, at $29.95.
$29.95, and believe me, that's actually cheap for that style of wine.
Really good one.
And here's my other great tip for you: is 2015. 2015 in Burgundy for Pinot Noir is exceptional. So even if you're an average winemaker, you're going to make a good wine. And if you're a great winemaker, you're going to make an exceptional wine.
So 2015 is the year to go for?
It's the year to go for, and it's the year to buy a couple of bottles and lay down. Red Burgundy, Pinot Noir, amazing. And then if you want to be really...
We're off to Chile now for the last one.
If we're off to Chile, but just to show you, that is what a Pinot Noir glass. So if you're out in a restaurant and whatever, expect to see a Pinot Noir arrive in a glass like that, because that actually allows all the aromas and flavours be introduced onto the palate.
And should it be decanted always, David, as well?
A young wine like this will benefit from a little bit of variation because it's young and youthful, so you want a little bit of area into the tannins. And then a very old wine may not want decanting because it might be a little bit fragile, but typically it would be a good idea. And then I thought we'd jet over to Chile because Chile can make some really good value Pinot Noir. So this one's a little bit at the premium end, but even if you're in your local wine store, wherever you are in the country, you'll see Chilean Pinot Noir at $12.95, $10.95.
Would you not back off there now?
Would I back off?
Should one back up? Because, you know, you're talking about the Burgundies being in the 20s.
Yeah, see, I think Burgundy is like a really ultimate expression of the grape variety. That's like a hallowed territory that it's just something very sublime. And then in Chile or whatever, you're getting a good solid red wine with the Pinot Noir, I think. That's
so bang for your buck, Chile's the way to go.
Chile could be,
$21.95.
or even if you want absolute bang for your buck, here's a totally off-piece one. Romanian Pinot Noir comes in at like €10.
Really?
Yeah, but this one was voted best Pinot Noir in Chile. It's coming from an area called Limari, and Philippe Muller, the winemaker, is like considered a little bit of a guru in this whole territory. So this one's quite rich and polished and quite delicious.
Interesting to see
notes.
the difference in colours as well, isn't it, across all three?
My favourite.
And good with beef cheeks, apparently.
Very trendy. Sancerre Rouge is very trendy.
Well, we have
Great
our
stuff,
beef
Dave.
This will be
cheeks.
wonderful with beef cheeks, and then I mean, just if you're reading a bit of some deep soul-searching poetry, that would be just delightful.
Poetical as always. David, thanks very
We
much.
imagine that's how you spend your life, David.
Yeah, reading poetry, drinking wine.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
again, David.